When Microsoft unveiled ReCore to gamers at E3 2015, it instantly drew attention with a moving tease featuring a young wanderer and a robotic dog companion, followed by the revelation that Keiji Inafune and Armature Studios would be collaborating on the project. It was hard not to imagine greatness, and I was genuinely excited to see what would become of this mysterious game. Now in my hands, did ReCore deliver on its potential? In many ways, yeah. Although it's not the game I was expecting. ReCore offers fast-paced, old-school, arcade action mixed with light RPG elements and platforming sections that made my stomach sink more than once. But all that good comes with some caveats, and I'll address those soon. Right from the get-go, though, I was sucked into ReCore's world thanks to its strong lead characters and interesting narrative setup. You play as Jewel, a surviving human on the dry and abandoned planet of Far Eden, once thought to be mankind's new home after Earth became uninhabitable due to the Dust Devil Plague. The robotic corebots meant to aid their human handlers on Far Eden have for some reason been corrupted and turned against them. With only breadcrumbs in the form of her lost father's guiding voice embedded in special cores, Jewel takes on the task of getting to the bottom of it. Not every corebot has turned though. Jewel's trusty dog-like corebot, Mac, stays by her side, and along the way Jewel befriends a few other corebots. The relationship between Jewel and the friendly corebots not only keeps the story engaging, it informs and shapes the core gameplay as well. Most of ReCore's gameplay is spread across a huge desert littered with derelict mining outposts and dungeons with bosses to conquer. It's got a little bit of a Zelda vibe when you first start playing. Gameplay is always king, and this is where ReCore shined for me. It's not perfect. Jewel can at times feel a little light and twitchy when making precarious leaps of faith from one tiny platform to another, but even with that said, the platforming challenge areas themselves were a blast to play, often requiring use of all your corebot's abilities, and offered up just the right amount of challenge without ever being frustrating. Combat was another highlight. The intense battles against numerous corrupted corebots and bosses at once was always exhilarating thanks to a combination of Jewel's personal moveset, which includes double jumps, propulsion dodges, and a sweet core-removing grapple. On top of this is the ability to mix and match friendly corebots to fight by your side. There's a few layers to combat. Each corebot is identified with a particular colored core, red, blue, yellow, etc., etc. And as you progress through the story, Jewel's rifle can be upgraded to fire matching energy. Shoot red energy at a red corebot for maximum damage. Switching out your friendly corebots to match also adds to the damage, and gives one corebot time to recharge their special as you lay devastating blows with the other. Not only that, each of Jewel's corebots can be customized by finding blueprints scattered across the world. These blueprints allow for new parts to be made, which in turn improve the friendly corebots' buffs. Harvested cores from enemies are also used to upgrade your corebot stats such as attack, defense, and energy consumption. I enjoyed the combat so much that I spent a lot of time just wandering the desert, engaging in battles, collecting cores, and upgrading my corebots. There was a design choice that I didn't enjoy, and that was my limit of bringing only 2 corebots with me at a time instead of bringing my whole party. To exchange corebots, you need to visit Jewel's rover. This mechanic in itself probably wouldn't have bothered me if it wasn't for that big caveat I mentioned earlier. ReCore is plagued with horrible load times. The average length during my playthrough was close to 2 minutes, surpassing that on a couple of occasions. There are rare moments where you'll respawn quickly after death, but they were few and far between. Every time you load a new area or quick travel, and often after death, you'll have to stare at an excruciating load screen. A few bugs rear their head as well. A couple times collision detection was nowhere to be seen on crates, allowing me to fall right through. A quick restart of the save file fixed this particular issue. Visually, ReCore doesn't always impress either. Some interior locations look pretty good, but outside textures are low res and objects and shadows pop in the distance, which makes it even crazier to write that ReCore has frame rate issues on top of this. Thankfully, the art direction is great, with interesting and believably worn locations and well-designed corebots. If ReCore had just had another few months to bake in the oven before being served, to polish under the hood, it could have been something special. Fun combat, engaging lead character, cool customizable corebots, and a big world to explore filled with challenges and bosses. ReCore hits a lot of the right notes, its biggest issues being of the technical kind, which can hopefully be addressed in a patch or two. Despite these technical issues though, at the end of the day, I've had a blast playing ReCore.